Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Unprofessional Entrepreneur. This week we are recording a very, very special episode because it's episode 100. I am so excited for you to all listen to this, and this is something that I have been planning for a minute because, milestones, right? But I want to do live remixes, and whether I'm going to keep that name or find a better name is unseen right now. Essentially, what I'm going to do is find people's content online, people who have raised their hand and said they're okay with me doing it, and I'm going to remix it. I'm going to give ideas of spin-off posts that can be made from their content. I have not read this content before remixing it because I want to literally show you how my brain works. This is not pre-planned. I have not read the post. I have selected accounts that I know I will be able to find content on. And I didn't ask the people either what their offers were or what their marketing platforms are or what their intentions are for their specific platforms. That's all stuff that I do inside the offer, the remix, where we take your entire marketing strategy into account when providing content ideas. I'm essentially just showing you how easy it is for me to pull content ideas out of your content. And this is something that I do when I do guest presentations. I also have a slide on my slide deck saying, all right, someone in the audience interaction is so fun, but if someone could send me a link, first person to drop a link, it's the one I'll go to. I put it up on the screen. I read it. I don't read out loud, and you'll notice this because I had a client who hated being read to, and now I'm very conscious of not reading out loud. I'm going to give you the bullet points so that you understand the idea, the spin-offs, but I'm not going to read the entire post to you. But yeah, so I essentially put whoever volunteered's content up, and then I give them spin-off ideas. I give them remixes of what they could be doing with their content. And so I'm going to just continue ahead. I'm going to dive straight in. The first person whose content I am reading and providing ideas for is Jess Creatives. She is an SEO girly. She works with health and fitness pros to create high impact websites so they can spend less time on social media. That's literally her bio on Threads, where I am finding her content. The piece of content I'm going to remix is a 5-part thread about your about page. So I thought this would be something fun to do and something that you could all get into and get value from. Essentially, the original post is saying that an about you page is about you, but not only about you. And it goes into 4 mistakes that nutrition and fitness pros are getting wrong. Mistake number 1 is talking too much about yourself. Number 2, no clear authority. Number 3, no personal connection. And number 4, no clear next step. All of these have bullet points on what to do to fix that mistake. And so this is a great piece of content to repurpose because mistake 1, 2, 3, and 4, there's 4 posts. You expand on each of those mistakes into their own piece of content. For example, you could have a carousel on you're talking too much about yourself on your about page and explain how dietitians will talk about their experience where they need to tie in their client's experience to their journey. This could also be fully expanded into a blog post, which I would not be surprised if Jess already has done, as she is an SEO specialist, but expanding exactly what it is, 4 mistakes health and fitness pros are making with their website about you page, right? Sharing the same 4 mistakes that are in this thread, but expanding on what those bullet points are into full paragraphs with proper detail for the people to take action on. Let's go for the less low-hanging fruit now. Mistake number 4 is no clear next step, and it's talking about how people don't include calls to action on their about page. So you could approach this from the polarizing opinion angle of about pages need calls to action too. You could write an unpopular opinion piece and talk about how not having a call to action on your About You page is losing you clients or leaving money on the table, whatever expression you like to say for you're missing opportunities. I find the two middle mistakes, no clear authority and no personal connection, really interesting because you would think that an about page where you focus on talking about yourself would state your authority and create connection because you would be telling your story. So I would really love pieces of content that dive deeper into those, sharing essentially how you can build connection through your story, or tips or framework or prompt to help people writing their about page or editing their about page to write a story that actually builds connection and authority. So that's kind of blending mistake 1 and 2 together. And and for a final piece of content, I don't even know how many I've given, but mistake number 1 is talking too much about yourself. And the last point under it is make it client focused. Make your personal journey client focused. So I would like a piece of content solely on writing a client focused about you page and how health and fitness pros can do that better. But that's it for Just Creatives. I will have the original piece of content linked in the show notes so that you can see what I'm talking about and see the ideas that I have been pulling from it and see how you could pull more yourself. The next one I'm going to do is my friend Faith. She is the face behind Remote Ops Partner. And Faith is an operations strategist for high achieving entrepreneurs drowning in ideas but stuck in execution. So she does task work, but she also does operation, project management, team management type of work. Okay, here is a post by Faith. Her thread, I'm on Threads, I'm staying on Threads. Her threads are pretty sales-based, so this is a very sales-based piece of content. So I'm going to give suggestions for more nurture, education, generate leads type of ideas versus hard sales posts, because she's already killing the hard sales posts. So this post is, it starts out with, oh, you want to know if your client experience needs work? Ask yourself these 3 questions. The questions are, if I inquired about your offer right now, would I know exactly what happens? Is every step of your process easy, clear, and streamlined? And if you disappeared after onboarding a client, would they still rave about your service? Then she talks about how it's a red flag and the service that she has to help you through that. So something I would like would be, obviously, we're going to take the low-hanging fruit. Each of these questions I want expanded on. If I inquired about your offer right now, would I know exactly what happens next? So as an operations strategist for high-achieving entrepreneurs, you could say something like, is your client experience clear from the sales page? Or even hitting on the high achiever themselves and saying something like, are you needed to make the next steps happen in your client onboarding? Does your client experience require a hands-on approach, right? Because she's looking for people that don't want to be stuck in the execution anymore. They want to hire her to help them automate, set up systems, set up processes. Is every step of your process easy, clear, and streamlined? I really like this question because I feel like there are questions that could come with it, right? So you could have a piece of content that's like, evaluate if every step of your process is easy, clear, and streamlined, and have bullet points for easy, bullet points for clear, and bullet points for streamlined. Like, what does Faith consider each of those? What is Faith's process for an easy, clear, and streamlined process, right? Like, I want to know what you consider qualifiers for that person to achieve the desired outcome, right? And so that would be talking more about your expertise and your positioning. Sorry, I'm speaking directly to Faith right now. But even if you are another operations strategist or you're applying this in your own situation, your own framework, when you're talking about how you're going to take something and put your process in place to help them with their systems or with their content or with their branding, whatever it is your industry is, I want to know your approach. I want to know your framework. I want to know your method. Get more into that in your content. And that is great for education. And that makes great educational content, but it's also strong authority building content that will position you as the one who knows what they're talking about. The third question is talking about if you disappeared after onboarding a client, would they still rave about your services? So that's basically saying, like, even if you had no touch points with your client beyond them signing up and paying, is it fully automated for the person to have a great experience, right? And so I would almost flip this and say, here's how you can disappear after client onboarding and still get raving reviews, right? Like, how are you going to help me get those raving reviews without having to be hands-on? I want to hear, again, your process, your methods to onboarding, to building client experiences, to what makes a great client experience. So Faith goes a little bit into her offer in the second part of her thread, and she says that she will audit the client journey, find weak spots and bottlenecks, and provide a fix-it roadmap with 3 key action steps and recommendations. So even more content ideas would be to dive into this bottleneck PDF and this fix-it roadmap, right? These are strong features that help people get the results of the offer, so you can apply this to whatever business you're running, right? With the remix itself, I talk about the Airtable base. The Airtable base is a strong feature that is a selling point. So the fix-it roadmap is a selling point. I want content on the fix-it roadmap. I want to know what it is, how it works, what an example one looks like, right? Like take us through a case study of someone who has booked this client experience glow up. I know it's a new offer, Faith, but either a example client or someone you've taken through that wasn't this exact offer, but these processes, right? And like, what does a bottleneck PDF look like? What are example bottlenecks? You could do a piece of content that has the angle of mistakes, and you could say, these mistakes are bottlenecking your client process. Those are the examples of the bottlenecks people are coming up that you are going to find when you audit their client journey. So those were 2 very different pieces of content. One was purely educational and one was sales-based. All of the ideas cover a range of generating leads, educating, nurturing, and selling, which is the intentions I apply in the remix and in my content repurposing services in general. If you have more questions about the remix, if you're curious about the remix, head to the show notes. You can check out Flynn. Flynn is a custom GBT that I built where you'll be able to take one piece of content like I just did and put it into my GBT. Only Flynn will give you examples of what type of content to create with that prompt that he's giving you, as well as the intention to focus on to make it an effective piece of content. And of course, if you want to dive deeper, you can always purchase a remix. I will be testing something in April where I'm going to limit the amount of remixes available to 10 per month. So I'm curious. I'm approaching this with curiosity, essentially. As of right now in March, you can book. I have room for like 4 or 5 more remixes, but come Q2, there will only be 10 remixes available for the quarter. So if you are someone who has been curious about and wanting the remix, they do sell themselves. So I wouldn't wait, or at least give me a heads up that you're thinking about it and I can save a spot for you. This is the end of my first live remix. I would like to be doing these maybe every 10 episodes on the show, maybe every 5, we'll see. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Next week, we are kicking off the Unprofessional Marketing series. So that's going to be 8 episodes of experts sharing how you can market your business unprofessionally using strategies the gurus don't tell you. I am going to love you and leave you there. Don't forget to rate and review, subscribe, whatever it is that the platform you're listening to is asking of you. And I will catch you all next week on another episode of The Unprofessional Entrepreneur.